Yes, it is your boy, rocking the same hoodie for like 3 months straight, and I'm gonna do 3 more just to break some world records, see if it starts growing all sorts of new Amazonian species. But anyway, I'm sure y'all are in the same boat as me, that this was the most unexpected news I have ever seen. Yes, it's by a rapper, so a lot of times there is a lot of controversy that comes with being that career. However, Ugly God's a nice guy, man. You know, I keep up with him like every few months, and the conversations typically surround, like, of course, sometimes the modern rappers that are in the game, because he kind of fell back, did not release music. Allegedly, there was a situation by which his manager owns the rights of his name, so that's why he can't drop under his own, and that's why he had to drop that SoundCloud like 2 or 3 pack. And then Lil Yachty refused to clear that feature, which I get it, like that was a long time ago, and Lil Yachty at this point is at a certain level, whereas Ugly God, you can't just like come back and be like, oh, it's all cool. But the other conversations centered around Pokemon, because as you may or may not know, Ugly God has a few songs where the cover art are Pokemon. I believe Water is a Squirtle on the cover, and then also my logo is a Gengar, so I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and he was gonna give me like some jailbroken, hopefully that's not like snitching or anything, but jailbroken Switch so that I can play the old retro games, because these new games are bums. It gets too complicated, man. Just give me the goddamn Squirtle, bro. I don't need no like mutated squirrel that pumps iron into his dick, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, I don't know any street dudes who really be playing Pokemon like that, you know? He's a nice guy, he smokes weed and he chills. He's like a little bit more anxious, he's shy, as with a lot of the newer gen rappers, because hip-hop has kind of strayed away, at least this internet type genre of SoundCloud, into more like tech savvy rappers who know how to use Pro Tools and like make beats and use the internet with social media. So like, I'm just saying, it was the most unexpected thing to hear said news about Ugly God allegedly shooting his best friend's father, and unfortunately he passed away. Now, before we get into this article by XXL, and it has been circulating on pretty much every news website, I was actually sent this a couple months back, but it was always some like random TikTok or Twitter page that didn't get much traction. So I was like, this could just be fake news, because people try to spread all sorts of lies about every single famous person on this planet every day. They even sent me police reports with Ugly God's government name, but again, it looked like it was a Word document that anybody, even myself, could Photoshop or whatever software it is, just Word, write out like, I think his last name is Davison, is charged with yada yada yada. I could make somebody look like they murdered Kim Jong-un by strangling him with his own dick, but it looks like official sources are now publicizing it, as well as some potentially insider information by people who are in the leak space, so they are in the know with a lot of these credible details that most people wouldn't find out on the internet. But to get right into it, Ugly God is accused of shooting and killing his best friend's father. Published on June 29th, 2023, police responded to 911 calls of a shooting just before 12 p.m. on June 29th, so that coincides with what exactly I told y'all. I've been hearing about it for the past couple of months, but I would hate to spread fake news, especially with how harsh these allegations are. So when cops arrived at the scene, they found Ronaldo de la Vallade dead from multiple gunshot wounds inside of a vehicle. A relative has posted several TikTok videos accusing Ugly God, born Royce Cornell Davison Rodriguez, of being the alleged shooter. The person also shared a police case report showing that Ugly God was the suspect of who shot Devillade. And ain't this crazy? This is the exact police report that I was talking about earlier. Like, don't you think that you could create that on a Word document? I'm not questioning its validity whatsoever, because again, it does seem like all these major news outlets would not publicize this article if they had not done background checks. But there was also correlation with the fact that there was a Mississippi tag, which is the exact state that Ugly God is from. Now, there wasn't much else information from these news articles. However, Ugly God is free. He did respond to me. However, I would not necessarily recommend him telling anybody anything, given the legal risk that you don't want to say the wrong thing. It's like talking to a cop, like they can misconstrue any sort of word, even if you didn't really really mean it like that, so it's fine. I completely understand. But the relative who was posting on the TikToks claims that the rapper was not prosecuted for the crime because his uncle is a judge in the city. Not only is bro the fucking Pokemon master, his uncle is one of the elite four. Nah, I'm playing. I don't want to necessarily joke about people dying, but they also allege that Ugly God is bragging about his alleged involvement in the crime, which I'm not sure if that's true because we don't really hear from Ugly God ever, especially because his Instagram account was taken down for good. So really all he has is his Twitter, and he hasn't said much in the past, you know, like 5 years. So maybe he's just doing it in person. But since it's only been like a month and a half or so, I'm sure he can still potentially get charged after they find more evidence or motivation. But as for the insider information, or whatever you want to call it, and of course take it with a grain of salt, but I do believe Red Pints a lot. He is a credible source with many things because he be tapped in, let's just say. But he said apparently dude, so I guess the victim of the crime that was shot and killed by Ugly God allegedly came to his mom's crib with a gun threatening to shoot his mom, and so perhaps Ugly God took him out before he could do that. I think that's actually not as bad of a situation as people are trying to paint him in, because like, don't you think if somebody was threatening your mom at gunpoint, you would pull the trigger on them within milliseconds? Are you kidding me? They don't even have to pull the gun out. It's just they're gone. Hydro pump his ass to Venus. And so with this new piece of information, maybe this is actually why he's not getting prosecuted, because maybe the cops are just thinking that it's self-defense or somebody saving another individual, because it's not like Ugly God or who was ever the actual suspect in this crime was trying to seek out violence for no reason. But I guess we will find out new information very soon, so tap in with your boy. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole situation. Is Ugly God in the wrong? Or if somebody was threatening his mom, was he okay to take them out? Of course, make sure to like and subscribe on the Bob Gang if you with it. Peace out, clappy. Nice seeing you.